Alright, in this video we're going to review some strategies for adding and subtracting three-digit numbers. So we're going to start with an addition equation. We have 275 plus 146. So I'm going to show how you could solve this using expanded form, but I'm also going to use base 10 blocks while we practice that strategy. So to write in expanded form, we have to look at the digits and think about what the value of each digit is. So in 275, the 2 represents 200s or 200. So I'm going to write 200, and I'm going to go ahead and grab 200s for my base 10 blocks. I'll do it like this. Then I'm going to look at the 7, and the value of the 7 in 275 is 70, 7 tens. So I'm going to count out 7 tens, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Finally, I got my 5. That 5 represents 5 ones, or 5. So 200 plus 70 plus 5 equals 275. Let me get my 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I want to write 146 in expanded form under where I wrote 275 in expanded form. So the 1 in 146 represents 100. 100. And I'll grab 100. And I guess I'll put it over here. And then the 4 in 146 represents 4 tens, or 40. I'm going to count 10, 20, 30, 40. Finally, I have the 6, and the 6 represents 6 ones, or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? I'm going to draw a line, and we're going to be adding these. And we always want to start with our ones and move to the left. So 5 plus 6, I'm going to put my ones together. When I'm counting, rather than just start from 1, I'm going to use an efficient strategy, and I'm going to start with the larger number, which is 6, so I'm going to count on 5. So I have 6 here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5 plus 6 is 11. Now something I'm noticing is that my ones have made a 10. So you all know what we need to do. We need to regroup 10 of those ones into a 10. So take 10 of the ones. I'm going to exchange it or regroup it for a 10. So it doesn't mean we're losing that value. We're just exchanging it for a 10. So in my work here, cross out the 11. And move the 10 to my tens place. I'm still left with 1, 1, so I'll put a 1 there. So now I'm going to move to my tens and add those together. So I've got my 70, 40, and my tens. I'll go ahead and count on from 70 since that's the largest number. So 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. And now I'm noticing that my tens have made 100. So I want to take 10 of those tens, because 10 tens make 100, and exchange it for 100. Again, not changing the value. I'm just exchanging 10 tens for 100 since they are equal to each other. So I'm going to cross out 120 and regroup that 100 to my hundreds place, and I am still left with 2 tens, or 20. Okay? And I want to bring these plus signs down because in the end, I'm going to add my hundreds, tens, and ones all back together. So finally, I need to add my hundreds together. So I have the 200, 100, and the 100 I regroup. So 200, 300, 400. And now I'm going to add 420 and 1 together. That gives me 421. That's my answer. Right? So this is one strategy you can use. You could also use another strategy like a number line, but both of those strategies are going to be using place value, and you want to be thinking about what happens when your ones create a 10 and when your tens make 100, making sure that you're remembering to regroup those values. All right, so now let's practice a subtraction equation. So here we have 315 minus 178. So we're again going to write these numbers in expanded form, and I'm going to be using base 10 blocks, but when we're subtracting, remember, whether you're using the actual blocks or drawing, for subtraction you're not going to need to draw both numbers. You're only going to need to draw or show the whole, because you're going to be taking away this part here. So let's look at 315. That 3 represents 300s. 300s. All right, 300. I'm going to get 100, 200, 300. The 1 represents 110. 10. Get my 10. And then the 5 represents 5 ones or 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to look at 178. The 1 represents 100. And I'm also going to write it on some little pieces of paper. And I'm going to use that when I'm taking away the base 10 blocks. The 7 represents 70 for 7 tens. 70. Finally, the 8 represents 8 ones. 8. Okay. Draw my line. I'm going to write subtraction. Remember, we're subtracting. And again, with subtraction, we definitely want to start with our ones. And I'm going to look and see, all right, can I take away 8 ones from 5? So these cards are showing what I need to take away, and I'm taking it away from the 315 here. So when I look, I'm like, okay, my ones, well, I've got only 5 ones here, and I need to put 8 on this card. So I don't have enough. So what do we need to do? We need to regroup. So when we're regrouping to get more ones, we're going to go to our 10s. So it looks like I have a 10 here that I can regroup for 10 ones. So I'm going to take it, exchange it for 10 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And notice that I was counting 10 ones in addition to the ones I already had. So those aren't going anywhere. You're getting 10 more ones because you were exchanging this 10. We've talked about if you go to the bank and give them a 10 and they give you any less than 10 ones, they're robbing you. So make sure when you're regrouping a 10, you're getting 10 additional ones here. So since I already had 5 ones, I got 10 more, now I have 15 here. And I got to show that, all right, I took that 10 to regroup it, so now I've got nothing there. So now I have 8 ones that I can put on this card. So that was 5, 6, 7, 8. And I am left here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 15 minus 8 is 7. Bring my plus sign down, because again in the end, even though we're subtracting, we have to add the hundreds, tens, and ones back together. So I'm going to move over to my tens. I'm going to look, all right, do I have 7 tens to take away 70 from 315? Nope, got no tens. We already regrouped the 1 10 we had. So what do we have to do? We have to regroup again to get more tens. So we're going to regroup 100, and for 100 we get 10 tens. So I count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Remember, when we're regrouping, say it over and over again, our amount doesn't change. All that I did was exchange 100 for 10 tens. That amount is the same. So now I can show it in my work here. I took 100 from here, so that means now I have 200 left. I regrouped it to my tens, so now instead of 0, I have 100. Okay, so now I can take away 70 or 7 tenths. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So 100 minus 70 is 30. 3 tens left there. Finally, I'm going to subtract my hundreds. Take away 100, and I can do that and place it right there. I'm left with 100. 200 minus 100 is 100. And now I have to add them all back together. So 100 plus 30 plus 7 equals 137. And there we have it. So in this case, I had to regroup twice because I didn't have enough ones to subtract and I didn't have enough tens to subtract. Remember, you cannot just flip them. So if you have the 5 on top and you're trying to take away 8 ones, do not just do 8 minus 5. You cannot flip them. You have to make sure you're taking away the part that is in the equation. Cannot just flip the digits. So be really careful about that. And I know it's been a little while, but this is going to be a great way for you to practice. And hopefully this video helped refresh your memory. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.